Hi and welcome to the Mind Walker Method with me, Tony Wake. And thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. But before we get into the episode this week, I want you to just click down below, hit that subscribe button so that you can subscribe to this channel, and also be sure to hit that little bell icon as well to be notified of any new episodes that come your way. So in today's episode, I want to talk about being prepared. Now, if you look at the word prepared, pre means to do something before the time. And if you think of pairing, if you take two things and you pair them together, it means you are aligning them, you're putting them together, you are grouping them together as one unified concept, as one togetherness, right? So if I'm preparing something, it means I'm getting something ready to be grouped together, to be unified, to be grouped and put together as one thing later on. I'm preparing something. Now, if you're preparing for anything in your life, whether it is preparing for a business meeting, whether it is preparing for a public speech, whether it's preparing for a presentation or a meeting or any get-together or an event perhaps, any and every preparation, if you are preparing, it means you are getting into the mindset of creating a concept, creating an idea, and getting yourself ready to align yourself with the outcome that you are after. You are preparing yourself. But now, how do I in other words, do something before the time? And how do I know what I am pairing myself up with if I don't already have a mental concept or idea of where I am going? So let's take the first step or the first look at it in the sense of to do something before the time. Knowing where I am and knowing where I want to go are the 2 points within this experience that we're having, within this concept of preparing that we're discussing. So if I know where I am and I know where I want to go, it's easier for me to understand what are the steps in between to align those two in order to get me towards where I want to go. So for me to get into the mindset of getting ready, so to speak, and pairing, what am I pairing myself with? I first need to know what my outcome is. I need to know and understand where it is, where I'm going. What are the outcomes? What is my intent? What is my outcome? What is my desired outcome of where I want to go? And then looking at that and reverse engineering it, so to speak, understanding that if that is where I want to go, if that is what I want to be paired up with, if that is the grouping that I want to have happened at the end, how will I know how to behave and act in order to get me there? So reverse engineering in the sense of this is my desired outcome. This is where I know where I'm going. This is where I know what I want to achieve and what my ultimate goal is going to be. What needs to happen just before that? How do I know just before that I am on course, that I am exactly where I want to be before I reach my desired outcome? Let's look at it in a time frame, for example. Let's say I have 2 weeks to accomplish a specific thing. Now I need to prepare myself with the outcome within those 2 weeks. So if I know that that is the time frame that I have, 2 days before the 2 weeks, in other words, 12 days from now, what do I need to have happened? What are the outcomes that I would have to have happened 12 days from now to know that I am on course with my grouping or with my outcome that I want to have happened? And now you make a list. 2 weeks from now, this is the outcome that I want. And 12 days from now, this is how I know that I will be aligned with it. Now reverse engineer it one step back from that. What have to have happened 10 days from now? So in other words, 2 days before that even, what would have to have happened in order for me to know that now I'm still on course in order for my outcome? What would I have had to have learned? What are the resources that I would have to have? What are the outcomes at that point of the time frame of the preparedness in order for me to know that I'm aligned with my outcome? And then take it a day or 2 days before that. So in other words, 8 days from now, a week from now, 7 days from now, where will I have to be? What would have had to have happened? What are the resources? What are the direction? What are the actions that I would need to have taken in order to get me a week from now to know that I'm still aligned with the outcome that I want? And then take it down day by day by day, to the point where you can even so meticulously work it out in the sense of every hour. How do I know that I'm still aligned, that I'm preparing, that I'm aligning myself with that ultimate outcome 2 weeks from now? And in that way, you're creating what we call action steps for your outcome. You're creating the step-by-step methodologies that will prepare you. You are aligning yourself. You are pairing yourself up with your ultimate outcome, with your desired outcome where you want to go. And you are keeping stock. You are keeping your GPS coordinates, so to speak, aligned to know that this is exactly where I am. This is what needs to happen to get me there. And if ever you stray off of that route, if ever you step off of the path that's getting you there, it will immediately show up in your action steps to show you that these are the steps that I have taken. This is me being on my way there. And if I have stepped off of the path, it means it's not going to get me to that desired outcome that I would like to go. So that is how you prepare yourself. Setting your mindset of this is where I want to go. This is the outcome that I'm looking for. This is the goal that I have in mind. And I am before I even start, I am aligning myself up with that. And I know in my mind, this is what it would look like. This is what it would sound like. This is what it would feel like. This is how I know that I will get there, into the specifics, right? This is how I know when I've arrived there and I'm aligning myself with it. I am reverse engineering myself to know what needs to happen in order to get me there. And I'm creating a step-by-step action guide for myself to keep me aligned with it, to keep me on the path, and to help me get to where I want to go. So that's it for this week's episode of the Mindwalker Method with me, Tony Wake. Again, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. If you're listening to the audio version of this on our podcast on Spotify, the link is down below in the description. Then please share it with your friends and family so that they can also know how to create action and take action towards where they want to go in life to achieve that desired outcome that they're looking for. You can also go to tonywake.com and find other important information there and other resources that you might need. And also look out for our online academy that's coming your way soon at mindwalker.co.za. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be blessed, stay strong, and as always, stay true to you. See you soon.